Day 19, we're talking about slower workout recovery. Let's not just jump to conclusions and assume I'm just getting older. I've heard that for a host of symptoms in women as early as 30. Let's look at some other factors that might be considerations here. Interestingly, one of the top 10 most common symptoms among women in menopause and perimenopause is joint and muscle pain. There actually is a name for it, and women might get frozen shoulder. It's called skeletal muscular syndrome of menopause. And so, why is this happening? Are we getting injured more frequently? We are getting changes in our collagen. So, instead of producing more type 1 collagen that allows us to flex and move better, our collagen production is getting replaced with a stiffer collagen. That can be one reason where you might just be walking along and injure yourself seemingly doing nothing. We need to be working on our flexibility and mobility, and we need to be looking at what else is going on with inflammation. We talked about in our last video that women in perimenopause and menopause are at much higher risk of autoimmune disease. So is there an autoimmune component like rheumatoid arthritis going after the joints, or is it more of a wear and tear osteoarthritis? Are you pushing yourself really hard? Maybe you're doing an intense workout or cardio, or you're training for something or doing CrossFit, and you're just noticing that you're not recovering very fast. Pay attention to that. Now, I've had a couple of clients who might go for a run and then it takes them days to recover. And that is a sign from your body that we're pushing too hard. Usually there's more going on in terms of your adrenals are taxed. You might have some nutrient deficiencies. There might be some hormone imbalances, but basically that bucket of resilience is maxed. And so exercise, for example, is what's called a hormetic stressor. It's something that makes our bodies stronger. It's a good stress, right? Things like exercise, fasting, sauna, cold plunges, they're all considered hormetic stressors. But if our body is already maxed, maybe we're not sleeping well, or we're restricting calories, or we have some hormone imbalances, or low-grade chronic infection or inflammation, or autoimmune condition, or chronic cortisol dysregulation, too high or too low, if we push it that hard, it can absolutely max our bodies and prevent us from repairing tissue damage. What we want to look at is, let's make sure you're getting enough protein, especially if you are training for something. But as a guideline, at least 90 to 100 grams per day, broken up into 3 meals and a snack, making sure that you're chewing really well, that you're taking digestive enzymes as needed to make sure that you're actually breaking down and absorbing that well. If you want to back off or maybe switch the time of day and see how recovery is. For some women who have high cortisol, especially as estrogen goes down, that cortisol goes up relative to estrogen. So we're going to have higher states of cortisol, which puts us in this chronic high stress catabolic muscle breakdown state. So maybe fasted exercise, or especially fasted cardio, isn't your friend right now. Maybe you just need a little nutrition on board, or maybe you need to do it later in the day and get a morning walk in. A fasted walk would be the exception, where you're putting your body straight into fat burning mode without spiking cortisol. And then strength training is really important. If you love cardio, maybe switch it up a little bit. Center around strength training and then throw in a couple of HIIT bursts. So not like a 45-minute HIIT class, but maybe 6 or 8 very intense 20 to 30 second bursts, and see how you feel. Is it disrupting your sleep? Is your recovery going slower? Do we need to spend a little bit more time on mobility exercise and stretching and yoga and things like that? So play around with timing, with nutrition, with inflammation, and also rule out, is your body already dealing with several other stressors, and this is just putting it over the edge and actually working against you, not for you? Overall, exercise is incredible. It is healing. It is anti-inflammatory. It causes your brain to produce a whole pharmacy of neurochemicals. But sometimes, especially going through perimenopause and menopause, as our hormones are shifting, our brain is rewiring, our metabolic health is changing a little bit. Maybe the same exercises in our 20s and 30s, we might just have to switch up our strategies a little bit.